All right. Good morning. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Huh? What a series of events. Hey Dave, how you doing, brother? Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, brother. Right off the bat, says good afternoon, hockey fans. Blockbuster trade that might shake up the East. No doubt. No doubt there, man. I was at the casino with Kyle last night. Trey started texting me, and for a moment, people kind of thought maybe it was going to instantly mean Crosby was going to Colorado or something. Hey, Ken, this is Canes tried to get Miller and Pedersen and ended up with Rantanen. Right? Yeah, right. That's like, okay, watch this. You know, what a, I mean, if Carolina can't win now, right? I mean, if Carolina can't win now, they have been in win now mode for so long. I mean, of course, nothing guarantees nothing, right? But you got to figure this is an all in move. Dave says Crosby isn't moving. I just don't see it. I agree with you. I agree with you, man. Despite the fact that Trey would love to see it happen, I just don't see it happening. But for Carolina, the totally all in now move, because if they can't re-sign Rantanen, what do they get out of this? Right? If they can't re-sign Rantanen and they don't, and they don't win this year, what do they genuinely get out of this? So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. I compared it. I made the video earlier. I kind of compared it to, the Kachuk trade, obviously. And I mean, when you consider what Florida gave up to get Kachuk, and then you look at what Carolina gave up, Colorado, I mean, I get it. Kachuk still had the full year on his contract, so that does have something to do with it. But damn, you would have thought Colorado would have even. So, Jesse, you think good deal on the Avs end? Now, that is, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I haven't seen, that's the least frequent opinion that I've seen. And I'm going just by what I've seen other people say, is that they kind of feel like maybe Colorado could have gotten more out of that. Like maybe at least the first, something else. Dave says, however, it is fun to trade bait Crosby, right? Yeah, Chucky's never. I don't think Chucky will move, right? But he signed that long deal. I mean, as the cap goes up, I know right now, Panther fans are a little bit wobbly. Emmerich's fan says, no, not Crosby. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, Pittsburgh is right there anyway, right? Kenny says, don't forget the third pick to Chicago. I did some looking up on the net to find some amazing legends some teams got from throwaway draft picks for guys. That's true. Yeah, right. No, Chicago gets the third for basically nothing, right? I mean, it doesn't have any effect on them right now. Little J says, dumb deal in the Avs, and you go into the playoffs with the chemistry you have and let him walk if you don't have the money. That's kind of what we're thinking about with Sam Bennett, right? Little J is like, you blow up that kind of chemistry right now, but it is early. It is early, right? So it's earlier than a trade would normally kind of go down. So maybe they'll have time to build that. Jason says, yeah, not losing a player for nothing in free agency. It's tough. It really is tough. I mean, we talk about this every day at noon, man, because the Panthers are in that position with Ekblad and Bennett. Like, if we trade one of those guys, you kind of think, well, maybe not. Well, yeah. I mean, either one of those guys get traded right now, you kind of figure that's going to put a dent in our cup hopes unless we get something back in return. Little J says, Nishis and Drury aren't a good return. It's not great. I thought they could have done better, honestly. But Where's Trey? Trey's awake. I think Trey worked last night. Eric, are you an Avs fan? I mean, I get it. I do get what Colorado had to do. I totally understand. Sometimes your back is up against the wall and you got to do something, right, Trey? Yeah, there you go. Lil J says, I would have won Anisha since Fetch. Yeah. Kane's got good. Jesse says Toronto would have to give away more for Bennett, even if a rental. Well, especially since we'd be sending him in the division. True. To make a long story short, Carolina sent Nietzsche and Drury to Colorado for Rantanen and Taylor Hall, and Chicago was the middleman. And they ended up with a third and some salary that they had to eat. Eric says, yeah, I'm an Avs fan. I'm not blown away by this trade. Out of all the Avs, the Moose is the most expendable. He had some problems that most people ignore. All right. Hey, look, man, I get it. As a Panthers fan, you can't keep everybody, right? At some point, this is not enough money physically possible to keep everybody. And sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do. So I totally understand where it's like, I really would have thought at least, I mean, I guess it was Nietzsche's and Drury. I still feel like maybe I'm surprised all that went down and no first round picks were exchanged. It's just, it's a deal. Logi says, no, we don't need a rant, and this most likely blows up. You think this most likely blows up in Carolina's face just like Gensel did? Well, and that's the thing. If they can't re-sign him, they traded Nishis and Drury for Zippity Doodah, right? And the third, right? Because the third had been Chicago's. I guess they had made a deal with Chicago already at some point previously. But, a third round pick, it could be somebody, right? I mean, was Trocheck a third or a fourth? I think Trocheck was a third or a fourth. I can't remember which one it is. So you can get good players in that part of the draft. Chopper says the Hawks are the real losers, right? Yeah, Rantanen and Hall for a third, right, Chopper? I wonder what would happen if an NHL team ever did that, where they agreed to be the middleman, and then once they had acquired Rantanen and and been like, no, so we're going to keep him. We're not going to flip. Like, it's so weird, the technicalities of all that how it goes on, because it's legal. It's legal, but it's obviously not really being traded to Chicago, right? It's just for the paperwork. Kenneth says Carolina sold a ton of Nisha's jerseys this year. Time to get more money out of the fan base. Chopper says Bros could have at least gotten the first out of that. That's kind of what. I know Hall is old, but he's not. He's not going to be a detriment, Hey, Amanda, she says, and the Canes still can't be the Panthers, right? Hey, Raven, how you doing, bud? We're good. Everything. Life is good. Life is getting much, much better here, very, very rapidly. Yeah. Will Marner leave the Leafs? I don't know, man. You talked about these teams, which is why I was so surprised with Colorado, but I get it. You want to keep the chemistry together and win a cup, or you want assets for the guy that could walk. It's always a tough decision, right? Chopper says it's time to get Bedard out of Chicago. Give me Lundell with Bedard and Semiskevich. That's what I'm interested in, Chopper. Kenneth, you say Tavares might, you think Marner stays. Well, Tavares is like 50 years old at this point, right? They'll just say, and the chemistry was just messed with. That's true. That's true. And that's the other part to, the Tkachuk trade. Tkachuk still had that the whole year, right? So, we needed to sign him to a deal. We knew he wanted to sign with us. So it was a little bit easier to give what we gave. With Carolina, it's like they just gave up Nishis and Drury for a rental, basically, if they can't sign him. Man, it says, just wait till Bennett lays out Ranton and he won't want anything to do with the puck. Vincent says, so if the Panthers get through the first round, rematch with the Canes is a given? I don't know. Look, the Canes find ways to not win in the playoffs. And as we have learned as Panther fans, if your structure, if your team, if the way you play is designed to be a 2-1 game, you could have all the Rantanens on your team. But if your system is only really designed for you to score 2 goals, you're going to score 2 goals. You know what I mean? So of all the teams, like if Rantanen would have gone to like the Devils, right? Or the Caps, can you imagine if the Caps would have acquired him? Then you're talking about just like evilness. But with the Canes and the way that they play, it's like they keep thinking they're going to get the hired gun that's going to put them over the hump. But the key for the Canes is you need to win the game 3-2 instead of losing the game 3-2. Manny says, I don't like this move for the Canes at all. Too desperate. It's very possible. John says the kid in Carolina who cried on TV when Carolina was eliminated by the Rangers last year cried again after this trade. When I looked on Twitter, I didn't see very many happy fans of either team because obviously Canes fans are concerned that if they can't sign him, then they just – how much term does Nietzsche's have? Was Nietzsche's on the last year of his deal or does he have term? Yeah, Kenneth, exactly, man. Exactly. You did. I talked about that in the video I made earlier. That you asked about early moves and boom, man. Right? What do I think about Dawson Mercer? Heard the Devils might move him at the deadline. I mean, I got no complaints, but I don't think there's anybody in the East that's going to help us. Right? I mean, nobody in the East is sending us players, man. I just can't see it happening. Certainly not a team that we would possibly be playing that, why would New Jersey, Capitals, Canes, why would they send us anybody when they, there's at least a 50% chance that if they want to get to the finals, they got to go through us. Yeah, Dave, no, it's true, right? It's like you can have all the guys you want that are snipers, but if you're asking them to go grind the puck in the corner, it's like, Rantanen for no sake, right? Vincent says Rantanen is a monster. He can do it. He's the best producing player in the playoffs by far. Canes is the team to beat. Yeah, I can't disagree, right? Right? Yeah, maybe the Canes will flip them and they wanted Nosek all alone. Yeah. What I think of Besser to LA, is that something that's happening or is that something that could happen? Did that happen? Chopper says, put Ekblad on LTR and let's go shopping. I think he's actually supposed to come back tonight. Hey, MJ. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, bud. She says, happy Saturday, Jaws. Last Saturday of the month. Let's make it a good one. Big headlines coming in a moment. Some people here might already know what they are. Thank you, MJ. I appreciate it, brother. Much appreciated. Silva says, maybe we should trade Bennett and Samoskevich for Hall. Oh, man. Everybody's kind of saying Hall is old and washed and all of that. But that son of a bitch is going to score a big goal for them. Although, what do I know? Every game I kept saying Okposo's going to score a big goal for us, and he never did. Every game I tried to will him. I tried to manifest it that he would score a big goal for us. And he had a lot of deflections, but he just never did. I like that, Meadow. Meadow says Canes Avs final, right? Vincent says, so some wild thought entered my mind and won't leave. JT Miller landing in Florida. I mean, you got to figure if he's got a list of teams that he'll go to, you got to figure Florida would be on that list, right? But what's going back the other way? You know, that's the thing. Look at what the Canes just gave up to get Rantanen. So, did Nietzsche's have term? Did he have term? Boy, my phone knows what I'm going to ask before I ask it. Yeah, I think he did. Let me see here. Yeah, Nietzsche still is signed for all of next year. Yeah. So if the Canes can't sign Rantanen, that's bad. God dang. Okay, looking at that, I think that kind of evens things out just a touch. I haven't seen JC or Rosado yet, but MJ, but it's early. They may not be expecting me to be live, right? Yeah, so knowing that Nietzsche's had that extra year, that's a little bit of a plus, right? Because Colorado doesn't have to worry about re-signing him. They could flip him for assets if they needed to at some point next year. So that's a little bit of something. That might explain why a first wasn't involved, right? And he could do well in Colorado. It's just a matter of can either team. It'll be interesting to see which one of those guys fits in with the other team better and how fast they're able to get chemistry. John says, Okposo got $1 million from Buffalo for winning the Stanley Cup with us last year, right? Ain't that the truth? Silva says Miller would not work in Florida. He's aggressive, argue with his teammates, and his attitude has hurt Pettersson's play severely. Yeah, that's not going to work. That wouldn't work. That's unfortunate. Definitely not. Argues with the teammates things. If that's the way it rolls, that's definitely not something that I would see Zito doing, right? Kenneth says send Miller to the Rangers. Yeah, that sounds about right. Wait, he already nixed that trade, right? Did I see that? Vincent says it's not bad. Canes didn't give anything they didn't want to give. They tried to trade Nietzsche through the summer. Okay. Right. No, for the Canes, it's not bad. I mean, if they don't win the cup and they don't sign Rantanen, it's a bit of a loss, right? It's a bit of a loss. Dave says, rumor has it Miller will sleep with your wife too. Good thing I don't have a wife. Ashley said the same thing. Ashley said the same thing. Good thing. That's right. Miller was on Tampa and they did decent. Silva says, Miller is a locker room cancer incarnate. Have you seen his argument with his goalie? No. All right, so we don't have many JT Miller fans in the chat. That is for sure. That's fine. Trey says, marry Miller's mom. Checkmate. Oh, my God. Holy crap. Oh, my God. You guys. Dave says, I made it up. Trey doesn't care. Trey will use anybody's excuse to sleep with somebody's mom. I know Trey. I know Trey, right? Jaws Miller. Donna says, I thought it was kind of screwed up that Colorado gave Blackwood an extension immediately after he played 3 games for them instead of paying a guy who's a top player and won the cup with them. I mean, the word is he wants $14 million, though, Adonis. What's McKinnon's how much does McKinnon make? How much is his oh Jesus. So McKinnon's already making 12.6. Yeah, he's making 12.6. So if you paid Rantanen even 13, even if he was going to take a discount and take 13, that's $25 million. That's a lot. Hey, Andrew, how you doing, bud? The chat's moving fast. So John says, if I'm Zito, who do I see possibly out there that can help us in the trade without killing us and who we give up? I'll get to that in a second, John. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, MJ. Much appreciated, my brother. He says, world headlines, Pete Hegseth confirmed new defense secretary. I was wondering what happened there. Noam confirmed new Homeland Security secretary. All foreign aid to Ukraine frozen. I did not know that. There's going to be some people pissed off about that. Conan O'Brien is homeless, and Kia recalling 80,000 cars due to an airbag issue, and my camera just went out. What the hell happened to my camera? Hold on a second. Okay, we're back. That was weird. My knee hit the table and my camera decided to stop working. All right, we're good. All right, let me blow this back up. No, that's okay, MJ. Those are just facts, right? Those are just. Now tell me about Conan O'Brien being homeless. Thank you, MJ. Tell me about Conan O'Brien is homeless. Is this now, John, in terms of who I see out there, man, I did a video a couple of weeks ago. I got to relook. I was kind of looking at Connor Murphy on defense, but things have kind of shifted a little bit to where now, if we had one move, I would want to upgrade at 4C or some depth at 4C. Rosado and I like Noel Acciari. If Pittsburgh's just going to go giving people away, I think Acciari would be a good depth piece that we could basically get for peanuts that might help in the face-off circle. If we only had one move, I think that would pay bigger dividends than going out and paying a lot for another defenseman. I know people think we need a defenseman. I don't disagree, but I just don't know where the assets are going to come from. Trey. He lost his home in the wildfires. Okay. Gotcha. Right. MJ says, apparently if you shoot an animal that qualifies you as secretary. Man, I'm so glad I don't know nothing about nothing. What did True say? Obama is what? What the hell? What is going on in the chat? What the hell is going on in the chat? Did you all show up drunk? True says Obama is banging Jennifer Aniston. Jesus. This is how we roll. We are not just the hockey channel. That is for damn sure. Oh, my God. It's all over. It really true. Bro. I have no words. I can't even. It's not even like the movie is good. Dave says that Chad is gone. Yes, I'm working on to get him drunk. She was on Jimmy Kimmel. So there's rumors that Obama is going to divorce Michelle. Hey, look. All I'm going to say is that if I was married to Michelle Obama and Jennifer Aniston became interested, I might look. I might take a look. Jennifer Aniston, you have to entertain that trade, right? You have to entertain that trade. You can't You can't just hang up the phone on that. It's like, well, what's the deal? What, right? But I mean, and Michelle might be like, I mean, just give me half. Just give me half, Barack. Like Michelle's fine, right? It's not like she's going to be hurting. So that's crazy, though. That has got to be one of the weirdest things, right? Like the most unlikely couples, right? Michelle was not at Carter's funeral. The most unlikely couples, right? You think Trump and Melania is an unlikely couple. Obama and Aniston is like hold my beer, right? Colin says so much for Taylor Hall. Well, yeah. His knees are kind of shot though too. He's going to help. He'll help Carolina. He'll help Carolina. Dave says I'm putting on my tinfoil hat for this. I mean, this is wild. Here we go. Here's Dana. Thank you, Dana. He says, yeah, there's a big rumor about Jennifer Aniston and Barack, and that's why Michelle hasn't been showing up to things. And he dived out of a Washington restaurant with an unidentified female. What did I say? Ivana or I said Melania? No, whichever one, either one is he's batting above his average. We'll put back. There you go, Chopper. If we could yank Dylan Holloway out of St. Louis, though, yeah, where are the Blues? Where are the Blues? Where are the Blues? Let's see. Oh my God, y'all are crazy. All right, so the Blues are at 50. I got to put on my glasses. My eyes have been so bad. Yeah, it was Ivana then Melania, right? Ivana Melania. Yeah. He should have married a woman named Ivana Melania. I said the Blues are at 50, so they're kind of out in the West, right? I mean, they still could do it, but I don't think the Blues are making the playoffs. They're below 500. That could happen. That could happen. Hey, Windy City Hockey, how you doing, buddy? He says that trade last night ticked me off. Oh boy. So what about it? What about it ticked you off, brother? How you doing? Marla Maples. Yeah, that's right. Dana says a few of the actors lost their homes. Victor Newman on Young and the Restless and Victoria Newman both lost her. My mom watched that show when I was a kid. I mean, when I was a teenager, she watched that show religiously. Chopper says Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg for Aaron Ekblad. Oh. Do you think that would – the only problem with the Ekblad thing, Chopper, is don't you think that would disrupt the chemistry of the room too much? Hey, Rosado's here. How you doing, bud? True doesn't like the title of the stream. When he says the Blackhawks only get their own third-round pick back when they brokered the deal. Okay, yeah. When I first read it, Wendy, I was like, wait a minute. That's all. They only get their own pick back. I couldn't figure out what had happened. They're like their own third pick, and I'm like, well, what the hell happened? And then you look at it, and yeah, I understand what you're saying, man. That you think you could have gotten a little bit more, right? I mean, the salary is not going to matter to you guys right now, but still, you think maybe a first. Up it to a second. You know what I mean? Bump it up to a second. Give me something other than what I already had previously. What was the deal with the third round? So, what did you guys get in that deal with the third round pick that they ended up giving you back? Kyle says, are the Leafs in the same boat as the Avs? Did they trade Marner now? Not if they want to win. It depends on the belief in the room if they think that they can win or not. Panthers are in the same boat with Bennett, especially. I don't think we're moving. I don't think we're trading Ekblad. Ekblad has been there for too long. He's too much of a key piece of the locker room, in my opinion. But for the Leafs, I mean, they kind of are in the same boat. But if they think they can win now, it is tough to disrupt the chemistry like that. It just depends on what's coming back, right? There's a few teams that are in cup contention that are in that position. And MJ, yeah, MJ's gone off the rails. I'm seeing Trump is going to be somebody's grandpa again. Rosado says the Achari trade is coming soon. Is Eric? Oh. Hey, thank you, John. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that, John. He says, let's keep politics out of this. We have problems with our fourth line. This is more important. No disagreement there, brother. I appreciate that. Oh, my God. You guys are, yeah. Vincent says you have a fourth line. News to me. When he says that they moved that third round at the draft to Carolina to get back into the first round of the 24 draft. All right, so then who's the guy that you took with that first, right? Because then I guess what that does is it makes the price for that a little less steep, right? You guys should have at least got a second. To retain all that salary and do all of that, it at least should have been a second. I agree with you there. Chopper, somebody else had looked at, hold on, let me look at his contract. Taking a look at Anthony Beauvillier. What if we got him in the Achari? Let me see let me see if I can talk to text that Anthony Beauvillier contract. Let's see if that was close enough. No, they didn't give me that. Hold on a second. Let me type it out. How do you spell it? All right, let's see. What's his deal? He's 27, so he must be on an expiring contract. He's only got a 1-year deal. Oh, okay. So for Pittsburgh, right? Okay. Let me look at him. 27. It's $4 million in salary. That's a problem. That's a problem. They'd have to eat his salary, right? And he's a left winger, okay, and we do need a little bit of pump at the left wing spot, but I don't think that would be a real big upgrade much over what we already have. And then we'd have to pay him. He's got a 4.1 cap hit. I don't know. Jay says, who would Toronto even get if Marner was traded? It'd be like a downgrade. It would have to be. He's not on the same exact level as a Rantanen, I don't think, but it would have to be a blockbuster trade like that. You got to get something really good coming back. Oh my God, Trey. Oh my God, Trey. I know, Arthas. I agree with you. Yeah. I'm gonna Merrick Vanacker. What's the scoop on him, Windy City? How's his development going? Oh my God, the chat has devolved. I'm scrolling down to the bottom. Oh my God, it hasn't gotten any better. Yeah, Kyle says Panthers are still the cat to beat. I would not count. I wouldn't count any chickens if I was Carolina. They find ways to not score goals. That's just how their system is. They Dana says, I would be so mad if I was a Colorado fan. It's basically saying that you're not going to win the cup this year with the trade. Now, I saw some Carolina fans, to what Arthas is saying. I did see multiple Carolina fans with the feeling that much in the way Chucky fit in with Florida and he flourished, that Nicias will flourish in Colorado, that his style of play, and that Carolina fans felt that Nicias was kind of being held back in Carolina, and that Colorado got a better deal than it appears to be. And look, we already did this, right? We've already done this with Huberdeau and Weegar and Tkachuk, right? Because everybody in Calgary thought they were getting a 115-point dynamo in Jonathan Huberdeau, right? That's what they thought they were getting. And we here in Florida kind of knew that was kind of a one-off. You know, Huberdeau's a 60, maybe a 70-point player, and that was with Barkov. So we kind of knew the opposite way, right? That Huberdeau was not going to be what they were selling their fans he was going to be. No, yeah, Huberdeau's doing a little bit better this year, sure. But is he still on pace for 70 points? Thank you, MJ. Let me scroll back up and find it. Thank you, bud. Chat is going so fast I can't keep up, but that's a good thing. Let me take a sip. All right. Hey, MJ. Thank you, brother. Thank you, MJ. Much appreciated, my friend. All right, we'll talk some sports. Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall to the Canes. I can't believe it. Yeah, Brian Schottenheimer's new Cowboys head coach. Jake Markstrom is out 4 to 6 weeks. Yikes. Melissa Keys wins the Australia Open because that wasn't Magda. Magda. Mark, I know. Mark, why is that not Magda's name? All right. Come on. I'm hit me up, Mark. All right. I've coached many an athlete. Let's go. Let's get Magda on a Zoom. Let's work this out. Okay. I want that next year to say Magda Lynette wins the Australian Open. Let's do this. Blue Jays made trade for Pete Alonso. Ooh, Kyle like that idea. So yeah. And didn't the Cowboys hire what's his name? Herberflus or whatever the hell the guy's name is? Thank you, MJ. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, make Jaws mad. I can't coach the tennis part. But I can coach the mental part. I've done that before. I've done that before. Yeah, Eberflus. Thank you, MJ. Yeah. I guess the Cowboys hired him. I don't know if it's offense or deep, whatever, as one of the coordinators, right? Artis, yeah. I was hoping Magda was going to do well. I was hoping that she would get the flying fluffy bump, right? She has dinner with us. We have dinner with her, and then she goes to her tournament, and magic happens. And that didn't happen, and I'm sad that did not happen for her. I'm listening, Rosado. Right. Yeah, MJ. Yeah, he might be named Cowboys defensive coordinator, right? Collins says, who else can the Panthers trade for? Honestly, I've said 4C. Now, the other spot we could probably use some help depending on what we want to give up. You know, I don't really think we want to go into the playoffs with Luosterainen on that left wing on the second line, right? Amanda says people must have drank so much coffee this morning. Well, most people don't have to work, right? So we have a lot more energy. Rosado said Bennett, Kierstead. Wait a minute. Bennett, Kierstead, Schwint, a third and a fourth for Matt Barzal, 50% retain. Holy crap. That's a lot. Can we even take the 50%? Or do we have to involve a third team, Rosado? I mean, do we even have room for the 50% is what I'm saying. Kierstead's still on the team? Danny says, I'm excited for the Four Nations, even though it's stupid and at a bad time. Chopper, you think Bollier's contract is 1.25? Maybe I saw something different. Oh, yeah. The old one was 4.25. Well, no, what I'm seeing. Oh, wait, no. Hold on a second. Let me put my glasses on. Okay, so yeah, they're showing it as 4.1, but that was in 2021. Okay, so that makes sense. I mean, you think I don't know. Do you think he'd be a good enough upgrade on the left side next to Bennett? Because let's think about what we have if we went Barkov, Reinhart, Kachuk, Bennett, Samoskevich with somebody else on the left. And that still leaves you with Lundell, Luosterainen, Boquist. Who would I miss? Erod. I mean, beggars can't be choosers, right? I mean, that's something that could – I see what you're saying, Chopper, right? Because it's easier to make a deal with one team for two players than it is to make two deals for one player. That could be viable depth. It could be if he could, return to the form he was earlier in his career, getting 15, 18 goals. Yeah, exactly, Magda. All right, I'm scrolling down to the bottom. Oh, I missed one. Here we go. Yeah. Boy, the chat is going so fast. It's a good thing, though. Thank you, Amanda. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, you see Chucky got the contract for Perry Ellis. Dana says, I don't know who to hope for this year. Saying that I'm a Canadian, but now I'm a U.S. citizen, and I like Chucky, but I like Bennett. Trey says, Four Nations is gas, and you're all a party poopers. It'll be fun. Hey, look, we're gonna be streaming all the games, right? Thank you, Dave. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button. We're gonna be streaming all the games, right? Arthas, yeah, the chat's moving fast. How many people do we have between everything? Now we got 58 people between all four. That's not bad. It's moving fast. Everybody's in the chat. It's a good thing. That's a good thing. Rosado says you prefer Achari over. I think Chopper was saying to go get both, Rosado. I think that's what he was saying because we do need somewhat of an upgrade on that left side where Luosterainen is. I mean, I guess, but I forgot for Hagee when I was making those lines, right? I forgot for Hagee when I was making those lines. So Barkov, Reinhart, Kachuk, Bennett for Hagee, Samoskevich, Lundell, Luosterainen, Boquist, Achari, Greer, Rodriguez. I mean, I don't see why we would give up assets unless we were going to just go get. The only reason to give up assets to improve over that is if we were going to decide to move Bennett and pick up somebody because we didn't want to lose them for nothing. Thank you, Dave. Much appreciated. Thank you, Dave. All right, so medal. Barkov, Reinhart, Kachuk, Bennett for Hagee, Samoskevich, Lundell, Luosterainen, Boquist, Achari, Greer, and Erod. I mean, at that point, and you got Nosek off the bench as depth, right? I mean, considering the situation that we're in where we don't have a lot of assets to give, right? Now you've got somebody other than the top line, you've got somebody on each line that wasn't, at least one person that wasn't in both runs. So you've got a little bit of energy. You got Samoskevich, you got Boquist, you got Erod. I mean, if our guys play like we know they should, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Tkachuk, if they step up and play well, I don't see why we would want to give up. Yeah, Nola Chari is a good fourth center. We've had him before, right? Meadow says, and that's the only other thing. I'll agree with what Meadow says. What if we got a nice upgrade at the left wing and put Luostarinen back at 4C? Yes, that absolutely is a legitimate way to look at it too. Sure thing. Yeah. So that's something that could happen. And then defensively, it's like Ekblad's not going anywhere. So Forsling Ekblad is not going anywhere, right? If you have Mikkola and you get another pairing for him, then I would think at that point you're going to go, most likely, knowing Maurice, I think he would go Kulikov, Schmidt, and put Balinskis as 7D. Not saying that's the way I would want it to go. I'm thinking what Maurice might do. I don't know if he'll take Schmidt off the lineup. Vincent says it's time to put Verhaeghe back with Barkov. I hope everybody knows what he is without first line support. So then you want to go Barkov, Verhaeghe, Reinhart. Barkov, Verhaeghe, Reinhart. Bennett, Tkachuk, Samoskevich. Let Chucky play on the offside. Then you got Lundell, Luostarinen, Boquist. I'll go for that. I'll do that too, because Chucky can play on the offside. Let Samoskevich play on the right. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, brother. Thank you, my friend. He says, question of the day. Which two players would you consider the best of their respective country? For example, Wayne Gretzky and Gordie Howe to Canada. Oh, that's a good question. Barkov, Finland. Barkov, Finland. Let's go there. Right? I know it's not true, but Forsling for Sweden. I'm sure there's been a better Swede. The best American-born player, though. What Craig said, Julian. What did Craig say? What? Craig says Chucky fourth line until he gets back to himself. You gotta be willing to hit somebody if you're on the fourth line, though, Craig. That's the problem. You got to be willing to give a hit. And Chucky has turned into, cross our fingers he comes back to for the playoffs. That's really all we can say about Chucky right now. Right? Yeah, Solane for Finland too. Yeah, MJ. Yeah. Good point. What do we get, Patrick Kane? Oh, I don't know. He's available every year for a reason, though, right? Backstrom for Sweden. Okay, yeah, Chopper. I'll give you that. Yep, Yager and Hossa for Czech. Give you that. Yep. What Rosado said. MJ says for the U.S. to be Mike Modano and Patrick Kane. Is that really the best we got? Oh, now you're talking some good names there, Dana. Esa Tikkanen and Jari Kurri. Jari Kurri was nasty. Yep. Chopper, Kopitar for Slovenia. Ovechkin and Vasi for Russia. Yep. We'll give Bob honorable mention there. Right? Yeah, Curry was a beast, man. He kind of got lost in the shuffle with everybody else. but he was nasty. So, Danny, you think we're getting Patrick Kane? Okay. Right? All right. Don't give up too much. They can have a fifth and a public sub. That's it. That's all. Kenneth said, got Draisaitl and Kolzig for Germany. Yep. That's a good question, MJ. Meadow says, we're going to bring a poster to the Edmonton game that has a giant ketchup bottle. It says, be very afraid on it. Kovalchuk and Ovechkin. Right. I heard Ovechkin got another empty net the other night. He's getting close. He's either going to just barely get it or he's going to get it right at the beginning of next year. Right? Colin says the top line with Kane. So what are you talking? Barkov, Reinhart, Kane? Is that what you're talking, Colin? Yeah, he's 20 away. What do they got? Like 30 games left? How many games does Washington have left? Let's see. They've got 34 games left. They got 34 games left. So he needs 20 goals in 34 games, which is like a 40. He needs to finish on about a 55 goal pace for the last 34 games. Ooh. MJ says, Jaws, they predict Ovechkin will break the record either last week or last week of March or first week of April. So they really think he's going to get it, eh? I mean, he's got to shoot at a 55 goal pace the rest of the way. So obviously he's capable of. Dana says, so fun fact, I saw Wayne Gretzky play as a 17-year-old for the Indianapolis Racers. Chat's going so fast. Skating around the ice. That's cool, Dana. Where was that? The rumor was that the Winnipeg Jets owner would have won at a backgammon game on the airplane. They would have won the rights to Gretzky. Oh my God. Could that be true? It was Winnipeg during the WHA years. Okay. Damn. Wow. That's pretty cool. Rosado's got, Boris Mikhailov. Yep. What about Bure? Where does Bure belong on that list? On MJ's list of players that represent, where's Pavel belong? If that dude would have stayed healthy, right? If he would have just stayed healthy and young. It's a shame when we had him, we couldn't put a team around him. Couldn't put anything around him. It was a shame. Man. Oh yeah, Evil Aronoff. Yep. Yeah, you guys got some good names. Got some good names. I kind of MJ says Bure top 10, but not the best. Hey JC. How you doing, buddy? How you doing, bud? JC, we got to do something with what you sent me yesterday, man. All right, Dave. Appreciate it, buddy. We'll see you tonight or see you next time. Yeah, JC, right? So about Carolina, JC. Yeah, I know. Rosado says I'm the best Cuban-born hockey player for sure. Are there any? Isn't there like only one Latin guy that was in the NHL? Right? Kozlov. Yeah. Fedorov. Don't leave out Fedorov. Good names, Jesse. Yep. Fedorov was another one. He was just mean, man. The Russian players, they JC says you're doing better than Rosado. Yeah. What was there any yeah, that's a good name. That's a good name, Chopper. Okay, Montoya. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Montoya. Yeah, just put him on the list of all the Panthers goalies. But that was a long list. That was a long list of goalies. Remember, we had Tim Thomas. Who were the other guys that we had? Oh man, during that, 2000, before we got Luongo back. Sean Burke. Oh god. Yeah. Yeah. Now Monty was when Luongo was getting ready to probably retire before we got Bobrovsky, right? Right? He wasn't before that, right? That was the guy we thought maybe would take over for Luongo that never did, right? Mike Bossy, geez. Yeah. JC said any players that come out of South Florida like Chase Prisky or Cuban by association. That's right, Trevor Kidd. Yep, Trevor Kidd. We had so many guys come and go that just never, Jose Theodore. Who was the backup for Theodore? Was that Montoya? Was that when Montoya was with us? Markstrom. Yeah, Kidd. That's right. Kidd, Monty, Volkun, Theodore, Markstrom, Tim Thomas. Alex. Yeah, Alex All. That's right. That's right. Oh, my God, Bond. Yeah. Montoya backed up Luongo. Okay. They all run together. You know what I mean? You look back far back and you forget. You forget which ones were behind which, But, oh, that's right, Kevin Weeks. Clemenson. There's the dude. Yeah, there's the dude. Clemenson. Jeez. Those are good names. Yeah. Yeah, we've had so many big name goalies. And JC, look, I still give Dale Talon credit. Because if Spencer Knight works out the way we think he's going to work out, Dale Talon is responsible for Luongo to Bobrovsky tonight. And when do we get Luongo back? Was it 13, 14? It was after the Southeast Division, right? Roberto Luongo trade to Panthers. When was that? 14, March 4th, 14th. So let's say Bob retires in 26, and then Spencer Knight becomes elite until 36 or even 34. That would give us 20 straight years of elite goaltending, all thanks to Dale Talon. Yeah, Goldie's been with the Panthers forever. That's true. Kenneth says Ryan Miller account. He was traded a Florida draft pick. Yeah, who remembers? Oh yeah, don't forget Beezer. Craig, my first dog's name was Beezer. When Kenneth is talking about Ryan Miller being traded as a draft pick, who remembers the cup of coffee that Mike Piazza had with the Marlins back in the day? Yeah, we had Markstrom. Yeah, Markstrom, I think, was the one that was supposed to take over after Luongo. Right? There was Markstrom, there was Montalvo. We had several guys. No, we traded. Markstrom was gone with Luongo in the Luongo deal, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. It should be right here. I just looked it up. Yeah, we sent Sean Matthias and Jacob Markstrom. Yeah. And let me tell you, Matthias was not happy when he heard that Matthias got traded. We had so much fun with him when that happened. We're like, Matthias, you got traded. Look, you got traded. He was so young, he didn't quite understand like that we were messing with him, so we couldn't mess with him too bad. Hey, thank you, MJ. Thank you, brother. Thank you, MJ. Oh, boys. Which NHL draft would I have loved to attend in person? Honestly, this is so random, but I would have loved to have been in the room when the Panthers attempted to draft Ovechkin the year early because of the leap year thing. I would have loved to have been in the room when they attempted that shit, just so I could have heard that go down. Chopper says, do I remember Beezer versus Poop? Yeah. I think, well, let's look at the schedule. Oh, that's right. Reimer. That's right. Reimer. We left out Reimer, man. Kicking the nuts, Reimer. Right? Let's look at the standings here. What was the question? Oh, who we're gonna play? So we play the Sharks today. And then who we play tomorrow? Somebody good. Vegas. That's right. I think since Spencer lost the game, even though it wasn't his fault, I think you'll see Bob today and Spencer tomorrow against Vegas. Oh, I don't know. No, that's a good question. Yep, Drees and Monty. And he said, what was that the year Obi got drafted? So MJ, the Panthers tried to draft Ovechkin a year earlier than he was eligible. And the argument that they used was that had it not been for leap years, he would have been old enough to be eligible. And of course, we all see how that turned out. But I would have loved to have heard that phone call. Yeah, Reimer gave up the game-winning goal against Bergeron in the 2013 playoffs. Oh, Mark Fitzpatrick. That's right. Mark Fitzpatrick. Good name. I know, Metal. It's at least 3 times this year. At least 3 times. Might be more, where he's played great and only allowed 2 goals and we found a way to lose. At least 3 times. Yeah, Bokun. Yep. Yeah, and the other one, the other NHL draft, obviously, I would have liked to have been there with Barkov. Or maybe Ekblad. I would like to go back in time. I would like to go back in time and be at the Ekblad draft with a parking cone. Yeah. Yeah. I might be a little bit mean. Hey, Simon, how you doing, bud? So I want to know about that big Blockbuster trade. In our opinion yesterday, do I think that the Panthers are going to make one like that, Simon? If they did, it would involve Sam Bennett. We don't have anybody that we would be on Rantanen's level that we would be trading. And I don't think we would acquire anybody big like that. That said, it just that trade last night, it just illustrates that anybody can get traded. If they're on an expiring contract, don't just automatically assume that the team won't trade a guy and disrupt the chemistry, because just look at what Avalanche and Carolina did. And I mean, Carolina could turn out to be a loser in this deal, because if Nishis goes to Colorado and does well, and they can't re-sign Rantanen, then Colorado turned something into nothing. You know what I mean? Because if they already knew that they weren't going to be able to re-sign him, which, they're already paying McKinnon 12.6. You're gonna pay Rantanen $13-14 million. I mean, that's $25-26 million on 2 forwards. That's a lot. I mean, I know the cap is going up, and I know Colorado likes to play a cheap goalie, but it's just a lot. So I I don't think the Panthers are going to make any deals like that. I really don't, considering we have a group that already won. Now, Colorado did as well, right? But they're not trying to repeat. Carolina's getting desperate trying to win. But considering we're in a position where we're trying to repeat, I don't think Zito is going to make any big disruptions to the locker room. You know? Jesse says Canes better go forward, not lose in the second round. They've got some tough competition in that division. There's no doubt. JC says, really hoping the chemistry in Carolina blows up the team, kind of like Nashville's situation. Don't leave out Nashville in terms of teams that could fire sale too. You know what I mean? I'd be shocked if you wouldn't, if you don't see some players kind of flying out of Nashville. Shopper, I kind of agree with you there. I kind of agree with you there. I just don't trust Carolina. If I'm a Canes fan, you know, yeah, you need scoring, but you just traded Nicias. So it's like, you know, you gave up something to get something, no doubt. But is the difference between Nicias and Rantanen right now in this short little window, is that a cup? If Rantanen, you know, I mean, if he decides he doesn't want to sign there, you know, how excitable is a guy going to be? It's a risk for the Canes in some aspects. I'm reading Kenneth. You guys must have been having a discussion. It says reasons for the draft pick. The Sabres GM at the time, Punch Amlak, is that really the dude's name? Was frustrated with the long draft and decided to draft a non-existent player as a humorous act. What was that, Kenneth? What did I miss? 1974, when Buffalo drafted Taro Tuzimoto, a player that never existed. Oh my God. So the reason for the draft pick was the GM at the time was frustrated with the long draft and decided to draft a non-existent player as a humorous act. That's awesome. That's awesome. Taro Tuzimoto. I think I saw a YouTube video on that. Didn't they like get away with it because they didn't have like the internet and you couldn't check immediately? Wasn't it something like after the draft that they found out the guy didn't exist and they made him redo it or something? I think I saw a YouTube video about that once. I don't remember. Yeah, they couldn't get away with that today, right, MJ? Sabres are like the Marlins, just straight BS. Yeah, so Simon, about Taylor Hall, he can't hurt. I mean, he's kind of a throw-in a little bit at the end there, but if he can stay healthy and he can produce, it'd be a big bonus for the Canes, no doubt. Right? Hall's a guy that's bounced around all the time. I think kind of based on previous potential a little bit. So I don't think he's a game changer for them, but I don't know their situation in depth on the roster, if they need a little bit of depth or if they feel like there's a spot for him to help. He's not a bad player, you know. JC says, give us Stamkos and Ennis for Bohlquist and Sorda. Where are we going to put Stamkos? Where are we going to put him? How's he doing, by the way? MJ says Hall was a MVP a few years ago. Now he's become sort of mediocre. Yeah, his knees are kind of shot, right? Some Sabres fans still wear jerseys with Tuzimoto on it. That's funny. Yeah, put him on the power play, JC. All right, I'll agree with that. That's true. That's a good point. But Maurice doesn't care about the power play. Maurice says the power play don't matter. Right? You've literally heard him say it. Yeah, put him at, okay, so put him at Lusterinen spot, put Lusterinen at 4C. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we'll see. I wonder, to Kenneth's question from yesterday, we might see more deals now before the break. I'm listening, Rosado. What you got, man? We might see more deals now before the break, right? Colin, George Richards had an article out that he might come back tonight. So that probably means 2 more weeks. Probably means 2 more weeks. Chucky Bennett, Stamkos, line 2, JC says. Craig says played more 5-on-5 time, which is why the power play isn't more important. Yeah, if we could stop taking stupid stick penalties, I agree with you there. So Simon, I think we'll win tonight, and I don't feel so good about the Vegas game. I think we'll win. I think we'll beat the Sharks tonight, but I wouldn't put money on us beating Vegas, right? At some point, we're going to have to start looking like ourselves again. But for now, we've just kind of been up and down and up and down and up and down. Will do, Simon. So Kyle, this will be the last thing. So Kyle and I took Kyle last night to the casino for the first time. And unfortunately for Kyle, there are some nights at the blackjack table where you do everything right and you still lose. And he had the front seat. He had the top seat, first seat at the table. I was right there with him. Poor kid played a shoot and a half, which is about 10 decks. He didn't draw one blackjack. He had multiple opportunities. He could not draw a blackjack to save his life. And he didn't make any etiquette mistakes. I had him play straight by the book. There were a couple of times my intuition was like, maybe not, but we had him play right by the book. $125. Poof, gone. Just gone. He couldn't catch a break. There were many times he'd get 12, 13. He'd get 18, 19. We're good, right? Go around the table, the dealer would push him or beat him with 20. I mean, it was a brutal night for him. 125 MJ. But, Brother Gene gave him $100 for Christmas and told him to do something fun with it. So he really only lost $25 of his money. Yeah, Brother Gene was there. He'd win big. That's true. All right, Rosado, let me answer your question. What was the question? And then I got to go. Oh, who's my favorite Heat player of all time? Glenn Rice. Glenn Rice. Yeah, we'll go with that. Rosado. I don't think that's Kyle's style. Right? Yeah, MJ. We go to it's Bally's. It's actually a Bally's casino. It used to be Dover Downs. It's like an hour away, but it's an hour through little country towns. And it's a big place. It is a big place, and the slot machines, it's not like back in the day when you go to a casino. The slot machines are these huge mammoth things that are all like video games. I can't do them. I have to go to the promenade slots where they have the older slots. You still can't pull. They've modernized them to be a push button, but it's the older slots. That's not the video game screens. Goran Dragic, Rosado. That's a name. So, all right, everybody. Yeah, there's tons of casinos there. Yeah, no, I know. There's I think there's one on the other side of the bridge, but I like going to Dover because, I don't have to drive the bridge. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate all the support. Much, much, much appreciated. Good Saturday and 10 o'clock. Go take a nap, people. Go take a nap. 10 o'clock. We got one more late game. And then tomorrow, don't ask me how. I'm fixing. I'm sorting it out. But tomorrow we will start streaming with the NFC Championship game. We will continue streaming through the AFC Championship game and the Panther game. So, yeah, there's that. Tomorrow's a big day. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, everybody, for all the super chats. Much appreciated. 10 o'clock. I'll see you guys later.